My name is Gaius Julius Caesar, conqueror of Gaul, scourge of the Britons and Germans, and Rome's greatest commander. Once I was a consul of this proud republic, and led the squabbling group who call themselves senators. But now, the wind has turned. Today, I cast the die as I cross these waters and march against my erstwhile ally, Pompey, and a scheming Optimus. The events that have forced my hand have been both tragic and glorious. And in their retelling, let future citizens understand why brother must fight brother, and why Caesar must prevail. Alia Jacta Est.
Alright, hello viewers and welcome to Hegemony Rome, The Rise of Caesar. I'm your host PPChuchu as always, and it has been quite a long time since we've done a Let's Play of sorts. So, this game has come out fairly recently. I think it's like the 14th of February or so. It's a Steam Early Access title, and I know we did Rome Total War 2, and I figured we might as well check out another game from the same time period. So here we are, we're playing a Early Access title, and currently we're going to take a look at Chapter 1 here. This game has currently like two missions or two scenarios, two chapters I guess, completed so far. The developer is supposed to add 2 more and a sandbox mode. So it's early access, and we might as well just sort of get started and check out
At the end of my
so
consulate, my efforts on behalf of Rome were rewarded with the lucrative Roman provinces of Gaul and Illyricum. Cato and his Optimates had been intent on blocking my appointment, and I will not deny that my alliance with Pompey, solidified through marriage to my dear Julia, played a role in securing my new position. When word reached the city that the Germans had crossed the Rhine at the bequest of the Sequani, and that combat had pushed the Helvetii tribe into the province herself, it seemed the fates had aligned in my favor. Many could still recall the last time the Germans crossed our borders, and the chance to gain glory in the eyes of the populace was an opportunity not to be missed. I packed my belongings and left for Gaul at once. My new lieutenant should be waiting just past this valley. He'll apprise me of the situation.
Okay.
Welcome to Hegemony Rome, The Rise of Caesar. I'm here to teach you the ins and outs of the game. Start by selecting Caesar with the left mouse button.
Yeah, there will be a lot of these brief sort of dialogue boxes in the near
right
future.
mouse button is used to
Unfortunately, there's a lot of dialogue, so I'll talk a
haste.
little bit after this,
Labienus,
briefing.
you are endorsed by Pompey himself. I trust your judgment as I trust his.
Understood. It appears a tribe of Gauls, the Helvetii, have abandoned their homes to migrate westward. They intend to pass through the province. These Helvetii are known to make war and ravage any land through which they travel. So mad are these Gauls that they've even set their own cities ablaze, lest they be tempted to turn back.
Take a look at these burning cities. Start by zooming out with a mouse wheel.
Yeah, one interesting thing that the game has is that the actual 3D battle map and the strategy map overlay of sorts, it's one fluid, transparent thing, which is rather nice. So we are supposed to zoom over here and take
There's
a look at this
another burning
village.
city to the north. You can pan short distance. Finally, rotate by holding the Alt key and moving your mouse left and right. Press Next when you're comfortable with the controls.
These are
The
mandatory
Helvetii
things
will
that
move
we
south into our
unfortunately
territory
have to
of
finish.
Genava. We should push forward to meet their advance, sir.
You have a new objective. A reward is gained for every objective complete.
Yeah, I think I'll just try to skip as many of those tutorial messages as possible because they do become fairly annoying. And as you can probably tell, I mean, the graphics for this game is fairly good for what it's worth. Alright, so we are to get our 2 guys over here to this main area. To me, this game focuses a lot more on the strategy element rather than the tactical element like the Total War games do, but I mean, still fairly enjoyable. And let's see what is supposed to go on here. I think we're supposed to move a little bit farther and Then
It looks like we've arrived just in time, sir. The Helvetii are already attempting to cross into the province. I've ordered your legion to prepare for deployment while they await your arrival.
Before the Helvetii move too far, it would be issuing an attack order is just you always have full...
You typically do things using your standard RTS controls. So you do, you select our guys, and we just right-click on these guys to really attack. And then a brawl occurs, and our units effectively fight it out. Yeah, one thing that I noticed is that the animations inside this game, again, I mean, it's more or less focused on the strategy element rather than the individual battles, so the animations aren't
Now we must destroy that bridge before more of them try to
quality,
cross.
Unfortunately.
Destruction order. Now hold your right mouse button open. Now
And
select the good.
we can do quite a
Destroy-
few things that you usually wouldn't be able to do in a few other titles. Like, a lot of the actions that inside this game is focused around taking these strategic locations such as these bridges, and for now we're going to burn this one down just to deny this this route of advance for the enemy, just like that.
That will hold them off, but only for the time being. Labienus, does Genava have any cavalry to speak of?
Yes, sir. I already have one recruited.
Good. I suspect the Helvetii will travel through the Jura Mountains. Take the cavalry and the legion to Lugdunum and stage an army there. I will travel back to Cisalpine Gaul to fetch more legions.
Understood, sir. But be aware that the mountain tribes have been growing increasingly hostile. You may be able to make it through the pass safely on your own, but bringing legions back is sure to attract their attention.
For completing that objective, you've been rewarded with a brigade of cavalry in this. You've been given a new brigade of cavalry in Geneva. To remove them from the city, start by selecting. Now select the unit next. So
So
finally,
we grab these
issue
guys
before
and we
you
just
head to
put them
Lugdunum,
there.
You should merge Labienus with the cavalry. Simply select
And
Labienus
because we have a few
and
leaders, we
right-click on
can
a
merge
brigade to
them
merge
with
them.
some of our units to give them bonuses. Labienus here gives a morale
Generals
bonus
are weak
and
on
a
their
damage
own, but they give
bonus.
special bonuses. Now that you're ready to move out, notice that one of your objectives has an icon next to it.
Alright, so we should probably sum up what exactly we're doing here just to begin. This particular episode covers the Caesar's involvement in the area of Gaul, and I think Rome Total War 2 actually published a mini campaign of sorts, something like that. Where it's like a DLC campaign about this period too. So very, very generally, I don't really know that much about this period in particular, but Rome's expansion was primarily, I mean, they were present inside the areas that they were present in. If that it's sort of rational, but a lot of their control came from just simply making alliances with the various tribes from each and every single one of these little regions, and one of them one of the more hostile ones seemed to be these Helvetii people, and they seem to be migrant people. So they're trying to move to somewhere. They burnt their own cities down here for some apparent reason. They do have the tendency to pillage the land wherever they go. So right now we are simply trying to stop them. And it looks like we're supposed to make our way to Lugdimuntum down here. So let's grab our 2 troops and we'll just sort of march them down here. In the meantime, we'll get Caesar to go back beyond the Alps and pick up some troops from another Roman town over here. And it looks like we have encountered some enemies down here. Looks like we found one of these Helvetii raider groups, which is pillaging a farm apparently. So we'll try to get rid of these guys. Yeah, the combat is a little. It's a little more. How do I say it? Simplistic, but a lot of the elements from other fairly realistic games, they also play a role. Like for now, I'm gonna flank these guys. You see here that this Total War-esque little box comes up, and we just flank these guys, capture them, and just completely demolish this particular troop. And the cool thing about this game is that you can actually capture these people, and you can capture them and turn them into slaves, which we can then send back to work. Who knows? We might even rebuild that little farm here, just for irony's sake, make the slaves there work up on it. But for now, all we're really supposed to do is just march over here. So we'll get our guys, and
This is
we
an
will
old
send
Roman
them over here.
fort. We should create a supply line to it in order to support our troops on the way back through the mountains.
Yeah, so Caesar here, he is going down through these alpine passes, and supply lines do play quite a big role in the game. We'll see that a little bit later on. For now, we just want him to get over there. In the meantime, oh, looks like we found another group of these raiders, so we'll get rid of them too. And the terrain in this game plays a huge role in it. You see here that like a lot of the places around here, I mean, it's mainly these like small passages, and there's a few big areas, and yeah, the terrain really dictates how you fight inside this game. Simply because fighting inside these really narrow parts really does slow down. You only have like such a small frontage for like 1 or 2 units. Alright, so we met some other guys here, and I think Caesar has arrived at whatever city he was going to. Want to flank these raiders with my soldiers, but they're so slow compared to the cavalry, and I don't think they've implemented group movements just yet. So we'll get them to engage like that. You can see here that all of the units are represented by one of those icons. We'll get them to just brawl it out like that. And we'll switch it back here, and we will disassemble, or rather we will assemble 3 troops of legions. Let's actually check out which legions we have here. We have, let's see, 5, 6, 7, we have the 7th legion, if I'm reading that correctly. Or no, this is 5, 6, 7, 8th, we have the 10th legion, and we have the 9th legion over here. So we're going to get these guys, and we are going to march them back. But before we do that, I'm going to make a supply line right there, get our guys to pick up some supplies, and march them forward. So there we go. Now we have another force marching. And yeah, supply plays a really big role inside the game. So, it's more or less simulated to this little bulletin box down here where you have the amount of troops you have their morale, and you also have this fish icon representing the amount of food that they carry. And if you run out of food, your troops they begin to suffer morale penalties, and obviously I believe they start dying after some point. Although I've only played through the tutorial portion here, so in that it's like, you know, nothing really happens if you do something incorrectly. So yeah. Alright, so Caesar's legions over here they are going to make a long trip over here to Lugmundum. And in the meantime, our guys over here are going to continue their march. It looks like they are quite unhappy. Yeah, they have run out of food, and they need to get some soon. So this is how the game just generally flows. Oh, I wonder if we can continue with this trade with this supply network. No, it's being blocked by these people up here. There's another tribe of troops, and they don't seem to
The
be
Helvetii
friendly.
are crossing west of the Arar, but we need a stronger force before we can pursue. Lugdunum shall serve as the perfect staging ground.
Recruiting new units is simple. Now press the recruit finally. Click
that,
Units being recruited will appear in the Units tab. While you're waiting on that unit, you should set up your supply lines. Start by moving some workers into this farm.
Really dislike this,
You should find
this
2 worker
tutorial
units
person.
in Lugdunum.
Alright, so let's learn a little bit about how you set up the economy inside this game. The economy mainly works from building these, rather capturing and holding these cities, establishing little farms and such out of the
You can
natural
also create
resources
supply lines
present.
between cities. Try creating a supply line between Lugdunum and Genava.
Yeah, and we also want to create these supply lines, so we'll do something like that. And I think they want a direct one from Lugdunum.
Food is
so
very
we'll do
important
that.
to cities and armies, and they will easily be defeated if they're starving.
Yep.
Your brigades will try to consume food directly from a city or camp as long as they're inside the yellow border that surrounds it.
Yeah, so our troops here, they're finally getting some more food from the city itself, so they'll be alright. But we'll ask them to pick some foodstuffs up just now like that, and we'll just get them to assemble outside the city front over here. In the meantime, let's see what Caesar's forces are doing. They appear to be sitting, so we'll just get them to march once again. And let's check out how they are doing. Yeah, and they're just marching here as one entire blob. Oh, some raiders. Some enemy forces. We'll just get rid of these guys. Yeah, frontage plays a really, really big role inside these little passages, and you really have to think about this game strategically. I mean, in Rome Total War 2, I mean, what I did was that, like, in theory, as long as you had enough troops, you could fight every single one of the battles just one after another, with like very, very little consequence. And what I remember doing was that I just bought like a whole bunch of the skirmisher guys with the javelins, and those things were practically like molten lead when thrown, right? So they just went through everything, and I just won all the battles through that. But inside this game, you really have to be more strategical. In particular, when we march our troops through here, I mean, you'll notice that the passages are so small, and they're only good for about, like, 5 or so troops in the front, right? So you do have to take note of that. It's a good thing, though, that we're only marching troops through here, and this would actually be like a perfect place to set up an ambush. We don't have any food, so all of these guys now have their little frowny mask icons, unfortunately. I'm gonna see here if I can make a ad hoc supply route like that, and hopefully when they reach this little camp, they'll be able to get some food. They're probably they're going to take a long time to continue moving, so in the meantime, while we're preparing to go into the Helvetii territory, we're going to go back here, and we're going to check out some of the city production elements. It looks like we're finished training some troops, so we'll get them to deploy. I bought ourselves 2 groups of skirmishers, and these guys are offensive, light melee people. They run pretty fast, and the game has supplied us with some slingers, I believe. Yeah, so we'll deploy them in the back over here. Taking a look at the city, I mean, let's take a look at what these little icons mean. So we've already covered food. We have city defense, and that's pretty self-explanatory. The city garrison, again, self-explanatory. Have the morale, which will affect our recruitment and generally how the city will function. And we also have recruits and 3 resources down here, which I consider fairly important. So with recruits, we can actually sum up a few more troops. So I think we'll buy 2 more of those scrawny skirmisher guys, and you'll see here that they cost 35 gold, they cost 30 recruits, they come out with 40 people, so there's a plus, and they have 75 melee attack and 100 melee defense. So we'll buy 2 of them again, simply because we have ample recruits, and as you can see here, they're constructed instantaneously, but they start out very, very weak with only like 5 or so guys, so we'll just continue building them. Now, in the meantime, while our guys are moving towards here and our base is building a few more troops, one of the objectives that we have here is superior engineering. Looks like the Helvetii has passed through the far side of the Arar River. Hope I'm pronouncing that right.
With my army bolstered by these new regions, it's finally time to bridge the Arar and pursue the Helvetii.
To build a bridge, click on finally right-click on the bridge site to build it. You're almost ready to pursue the Helvetii.
Well, that tutorial actually came in just in time. So yeah, inside this game you can build some strategic assets such as a bridge, and we're just gonna do that here. So we're gonna get this legion. So let's see, the 7th legion this time to build a bridge, and then we should be good to move through this side. And how are our legions over here doing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure starvation doesn't play that big of a role. If it does, oh well, we've just supplied them with food. So these guys will just continue marching. And we can do a forced march actually, but I don't think it would be optimal, seeing as how it probably would kill a few of the guys over there. And there we go. The one thing that I wish would be one way to sort of fast forward through the slow paces of time here. Alright, so our guys are still assembling. pull our legion back because this area, the bridgehead, is actually out of the supply route, out of the supply